Hi, this is Sean from Team Plus. In these videos, we've been following the creation of my BMW F80 M3, starting with a bare shell and a statutory write-off that I've used for other parts. We worked through a process of removing all the existing parts from one chassis, getting them moved across with the help of CHE Racing to another chassis, and then reassembling with additional parts bought from friends and suppliers to rebuild a fairly much standard BMW F80 M3 with a few little modifications here and there. At the stage we're up to, we have a fully completed exterior shell and a working engine, but we have no interior. So it's time to move towards the interior work on this car.
First thing I'm going to do inside is sort of a safety thing and convenience thing, is to deal with this door cut area, and in particular that I have no door handles to get out of the car. Yes, you can do some things with this door latch here and push it down hard and latch it, but I'd like something a little more convenient than that. So I don't know if you saw the previous video, but I have built a 3D part that uses these three screw holes from this area, sits there and holds the door handle. Then the Bowden cable comes around and into its slot to open the door. I also need to do something about holding this up in a useful spot and tucking away some of these other cables that are not needed. So this is the part. It's 3D printed. It's now got the door handle screwed into it, and in theory this will screw into there, and then we deal with the cable. So let's have a try. So the driver's side now, this one's a little different because it has the window control panel on it as well, which I'll take out now. We need to be able to screw it down through the three holes, which are one of them's under there, and then pop that in once it's in place. Okay, the back doors, I don't need handles in the back, so I just made some little straight up blanking plates, and we popped some spare cables in through it and hold it out of the way as well. And that's the last door done. Before I put the rear roll cage in, it's going to be more convenient to put in an anti-fuel surge kit now before the roll cage goes in, because I have a better access to it. So this is a kit I bought off bimmerworld, bimmerworld.com. Really handy sort of kit because it gives you everything you need to make this work. One of the things about the F series M3 is that the fuel tank sits underneath the seat area, rear seat area like this, but there is only one access point into the fuel tank, which is on the right-hand side. There isn't one on the left, although the fuel tank is shaped in a saddle arrangement over the top of the centre structure. So there is a problem with fuel under high G-force loads in right-hand turns where the fuel can't get from that side over to here. There is a simple siphon in place normally. So this fuel kit gives us a second pump, which will slide over from this side over the top of the hump and sit down in the right-hand side of the tank and bring fuel back to this side into the fuel collection can that's there before it pumps out. So it's all self-contained inside the existing fuel tank. Don't need any extra surge tanks or anything, which I think is a good solution. The kit from Bimmerworld comes with the pump and wiring already attached to it to help make it all happen a little easier, and the fuel hose that comes from that side across back to here and fills the fuel can. Also comes with some other wiring pieces already terminated, ready to go to connect that power to the ground element up here, and also to the fuse box and give it power, as well as all the connectors that it needs and the grommets that it needs to pass through, the wires and the wiring to take it all the way through. So a good kit. It comes with all that and our good friends, the cable ties as well. So here's the fuel pump come out from the tank. It didn't go well. Thing is, well, trying to take off the fuel hose connector that comes here, this connector piece snapped off, which is not ideal. I'm sure I could drill out that and put some sort of fitting in here, and probably change the fitting on the other end. But that wasn't what I was aiming for. So I rang around, see who had one locally. The friend I've been getting some of these parts off in the BMW Canberra club had one that he'd pulled out of a F82. He brought it over, but had actually broken exactly the same place. So this is clearly a difficult thing to get off. The clip here is not intuitive, certainly for me, and that was a problem. So that's what our standard fuel pump looks like. I did buy another one online from a local parts replacement, and this is it here, and I've now put in the wiring for the new tank. So the wiring consists of putting this connector here, waterproof connector that goes through, and the wires go through. So it involves cutting that hole very carefully, but also then running those wires through, and then this hose, which is the new fuel hose, gets cable tied into the existing spot to basically provide fuel into this little pot on the correct side from the other side. Otherwise this is the same, but does have a working, not broken off connector on the top here. So this now goes around, that's the fuel hose, this is the extra pump. That'll get slid into the other side. I need to put a little cable tie around this and slot it over the siphon hose that goes to the other side, and then feed it through to the other side of the tank. That's what's next. So the thing I've been looking forward to doing for a while is putting in the roll cage in the back. So it's a half cage that I'm using, mainly because of my hip injuries and so on. I find it very difficult to get out of a full cage. And this is a track-only car, not a national spec race car, so I can get away with that. So, roll cage. So I bought these off a guy in Melbourne. came out of his F80, so I know that they work and they know that they fit in there. So we've got a main hoop, the harness bar, full crossover, and then the legs that go back to the rear parcel shelf to strengthen it all up. So I'm told that the biggest challenge is getting this main hoop section in to the door, but that'll be entertaining. We'll see how we go. Doing this required a few extra pair of hands, so my wife and my mother-in-law were helping get this into place. Alright, so that's all in, bolted in through the floor to plates as they're supposed to be, down through there, bolted into some brackets and plates at the back, and all secured together. It's looking good. With the roll cage in, it's really exciting because now I can put the seat in. So I bought an all-in-one sort of seat mount specifically for an F80 base, use the original bolts, but it has a slider mechanism and the side mounts for the race seat. And I bought a second-hand Seibelt Taurus seat and a FIA approved race harness. So let's see what we can do here, but let's first off have a look at assembly of this base. Okay, that's together now, I think. I have to test fit it in the car next to see how it goes, but it's sitting on these base rails adapter plates that go directly into the BMW bolt spots. I've got some eye-rings put in for belts, that's the side belts. I've got some underneath for going under there, which go for the crotch belts through the middle for the 6-point harness, and one on this side secured in at pretty much the only height that it'll fit. It doesn't really have adjustability, it just fits at that height. And ready to go into the car. Next thing I'm putting in is this foot plate. Go in the driver's foot well, just a heel plate, sometimes they're called, or whatever. It's a nice one. I got it online from a guy in Eastern Europe, and you know, he makes them different colours. And this one has a adjustable aluminium footrest built into it, and all the mounting bolts. So I really liked this. So that's going to go into here. So to install that, I've installed some riv nuts, marked the spots as 4 riv nuts that go in. I'll be able to put that in and give us a more even floor for the feet, more consistency, and a bit of grip as well from the grip tape that sits on this. So the next thing we're going to try is to complete the other side of this neutral release cable. You may remember previous episode I connected the other end of this cable to a lever on the transmission underneath that can pull it up and pull it into neutral when there's no power to the car, because it's a fully electronic shifter. There's no way to put it in neutral while it's while it's not powered. So the idea being that you'll be able to pull that cable through there and release it. So I need to find now a spot where that's going to go. I think it's probably in here. Probably take this lid off and put it into here, and have find a way to secure it, get it onto a lever. I think I'm going to use this lever, and that's same as the type I used on the boot release. It's actually from a recliner lounge chair, but it's a pretty good lever for this sort of thing. And if I have that sitting here in some way to be able to pull the neutral on, I think that's probably the answer. So the first thing to do is going to be to take some of this apart again, pull all the spares I've got sitting over here out, take some of that out, see what we can do, get this the cover off this, and figure out where I can mount it. This is the final design of the lever that I'm using. It is that lounge lever again, which provides a pretty good lever piece. So off the end of the Bowden cable that was under there, I pulled this bit out that slides over the end of the sheath of the cable and comes through. Found a couple of nylock nuts to secure it into place here, so it's in the right spot. And I've put a small nut and bolt through here, so once the wire comes through, it's wrapped around this nut and bolt will then clamp it into place. And that's the theory, and then it gets screwed into where it goes, just from the inside here, a couple of screw holes to screw it in place. Let's try and get it in. The last thing I've installed today is this fire extinguisher. Cool little bracket. You can release it from there and then the whole thing comes off. So a quick release sort of system. Obviously not supposed to fall off, but hard to do while I'm holding the phone. But that's good. Difficult to find a spot where I can actually reach it in from the seat as well as from outside. Just isn't room on the driver's side for it, and I can't really reach a lot of the other bars. The other option was somewhere along here, and it might end up going there later, we'll see. But I wanted to be able to still put in a passenger seat if need be, so I didn't want to put it on the floor.
Well, that's it for this video. We've now got a car that's ready to start, ready to go on track. We have our interior, have our roll cages and seat. Join us for the next video where we do the electronics in the car. So that's both the BMW electronics, where we need to code out some of the functions that are no longer in the car, so we don't get error messages associated with them. And we need to add the aftermarket electronics, which includes a Motec dash to combine all of our data together. The Team Plus electronics of tyre temperatures, brake temperatures and tyre pressure data. That'll add to the logging and go onto the Motec as well. And a power distribution manager at the back to do some of the aftermarket electronic pieces, electrics turn on and off from CAN buttons, that'll be added as well. So join us then. But a bit of extra news. Just a couple of weeks later, and I was able to get this car with a few stickers on out to a test day we were running for my university students, testing some new electronics components. It was great to see it operate and actually move outside of my own driveway. Very happy with the result.